But quickly, let's talk about this one today. Nigeria Super Eagles are currently on a shocking and incredible, awful moment. My name is Kizike, and me on the show today is just me reaching out to you. We're having our guest join us virtually, but hopefully he gets to connect when the time is up. Yes, so let's talk about this now. 11 points after 8 rounds of matches have been played out, remaining only 2 more matches on that shows. We did see a lot of things that happened yesterday. The La Liga, ES Sports, Real Madrid, all of this news. There's a news about Arena Shabalenka, the Formula 1 story. All of these are just somewhere around the corner. But let's get into the very big one, because this is, or possibly could be at the detriment of the nation. This just might be a thing to be looked out for, because currently right now, South Africa lead the group with 17 points, although with a possible 3 point and 3 goals deduction if found guilty of fielding in that player surrounding Teboho Mokoena against Lesotho, and that was for March 2025, followed by West African Minnows, Benin Republic, with a total of 14 points, 3 points more than the mighty Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, on the show today, we're just going to talk about the Super Eagles. Other news just somewhere, the pecking order, but we tell you about the Super Eagles and how bad we've come, the reason why we may never qualify for the World Cup, the reason why we may not still qualify for the next World Cup after this one coming up. This is 2025, next year is 2026, and you have 2030 World Cup. It's a World Cup that comes at interval. It's a yearly, a 4-year thing, but looking at the way we are working, it's looking like we are not doing everything right. This is shocking and unacceptable to millions of Nigerians and Nigerian soccer football fans all over the world. How can the Super Eagles of Nigeria, a self-styled giant of Africa, struggle to qualify for the FIFA World Cup? How? Just how can we struggle? When did we get this to this phase? That's the question. When did we get here? That's like the big question I'm asking on the show today. Despite having some of the best players on the continent, and also despite being placed in perhaps one of the easiest group in that African qualifying series for the World Cup, why is our problem still on? Our problem did not actually start today. Because people are saying, no, it's Éric Chelle, it's NFF. Yes, NFF to NFF is connected. Our problem started a long time ago. It did not actually start today. It started the day we mistakenly sacked former Super Eagles coach, Gennett Rowe. The day we let Gennett Rowe go, that was when the problem started. Now, if you look, let's even talk about this. If you look back very well, just look back very well, you will accept and admit this, because that's the time and period that our football inevitably started losing its glory and direction, and we started operating like rudderless boats. And that for me is unfortunate. Gennett Rowe might not have given us the beautiful, free-flowing football that we wanted, but he gave us consistency, stability, and then determination. That's how these players play, the resilience, the prowess, all that need to be done on the game we could see during the 2018 time. He's the longest manager who has served Nigeria as a foreign manager. No one comes close. I think 5 years or thereabout, 5 years. He gave us the result we wanted. He spent a total of 5 years at the Super Eagles job as a head coach, and for that, 5 years was what it is. He always gave us something to share up about, something to share about. We could talk about Gennett Rowe. See, we don't miss out on World Cup. It's like our thing. Since we made our debut as 1994 until date, we've been making it to the World Cup. So from 2022 and coming to 2026, it's now looking like we will never make it to a World Cup. When Nigeria was placed in the same World Cup qualifying group with African football powers, houses like the Cameroon side, Gennett Rowe was there, Zambia, he was there, Algeria. Most Nigerians lost hope of a possible World Cup ticket. But let me tell you, against all odds, Gennett Rowe did the unthinkable and the unbelievable. He incredibly qualified Nigeria for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. Against all odds, with a game in hand, yet unplayed. You might not understand, we have 2 games left currently in 2025. A manager once qualified Nigeria to a World Cup with a game yet to be played. That's how we want to say it was a remarkable feat for the German tactician. That's how I think football should be done. When you talk about Nigerian football, and there's a question to say, which way Nigeria? As that was not enough, he took the Super Eagles of Nigeria to the 2019 African Cup of Nations, AFCON, in Egypt, and came back with a bronze medal. That, to me, is a pass mark. Then came to 22 FIFA World Cup, the ticket. Gennett Rowe had qualified Nigeria for the final lap of the 22 FIFA World Cup African qualifiers, and had secured a playoff ticket against West African neighbors, Ghana, before an administrative blunder and disaster struck. That was where everything changed for Nigerian football. So I don't want to believe you. Tell me, Genetro, he's a good coach. I don't know how he feels when you watch Nigerian football. I don't know how he feels personally for me. I'm just saying. Because I look at Nigerian football and like going down every day drastically down the pecking order. Our number in the world is absolutely insane. Relying on wrong advice and counsel. In December 2021, I tell you, the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, in its usual trademark way of making very hasty and wrong decisions, wielded the hammer on Genetro and sacked the German coach. The NFF claimed that they weren't getting the result they wanted from the soccer man, from the German tactician. And they started talking a lot about Genetro. He was not good. Let him leave the job, blah, 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 blah. All of this thing happened. He left the job. And look how much we are struggling now. And that was where our problem started. Our woes started. Genetro packed his bag and baggages and left the job. He left. We've seen foreign managers come to do the job in Nigeria. We've seen them. I mean, the first man that took us to the World Cup, Westerhoff Clements, used to be my manager when I was playing for Kwara Football Academy before I made a move to, Kwara United. I was playing for the MPFL side. So he knows this job, and we saw the transition from 94, 96, Born Free Joe. He came up, and it was like everything has changed. What happened next? Nigeria could not qualify for the Qatar 22 FIFA World Cup, having been edged out by West African neighbors. And that's Ghana. At the last stage of the qualifiers, it was a very painful experience for Nigerians and Nigeria soccer fans and lovers of all the world of football in Nigeria. It was that so bad. But where did they start? And since Genetro left, Nigeria has not been able. This, in fact, you need to know. It's like a Did You Know show. I feel like I'm doing a Did You Know show. If you feel I'm not saying it right on the other part, just check our stats. Since Genetro left Nigeria, we've not been able to make it to the FIFA World Cup. We've never been able to make it to the World Cup again. Our competition, we hardly missed before. We don't miss out of the World Cup. Since we made our debut back at 1994, we've always been part of the World Cup till... It's crazy, a crazy scenario. It's almost certain that we could miss the next edition of the FIFA World Cup again. Next year, if this happens, it will be a big blow to our football, as things would never remain the same again. Now, I feel bad about the story, right? But I don't know how the body that governs the game in Nigeria are feeling at this point in time. Sometimes I feel like the press men, the media men are feeling the pain than the bodies that need to own the game. They need to man up. That's the man you have on your screen. He is a German tactician. Like I've already said, he might not be the best coach in the world. He might not be the coach you say you want to have for yourself. He might not be the one to say, yeah, this is the German man. Oh, no. But we saw that stability, consistency. He qualified us to the World Cup for 2018. And guess what? Even though it did not go our way, because I don't know if Nigeria will ever win the World Cup till Jesus Christ comes, I'm saying. But let's be factual. We had that consistency. I could say, yes, I'm watching the Super Eagles. And I keep saying all of the time, look at our squad now. How many of them have been at the World Cup? Iwobi has been to the World Cup 2018. Yeah, he was part of the team. Trus Ekong was part of the team. What's his name again? Wilfred Ndidi was part of the team. So you can actually count. So let's just say minority of the players that we have in our current squad have not played at the World Cup. Key players like Osimhen, Lookman, Moses Simon, keep calling these guys. They don't know what a World Cup looks like. And it's so bad that at the end of the day, you end your career and you never played at the World Cup. Now, I say it all the time, check out footballer stats. They know what it takes to be in the World Cup. You're playing in the very biggest tournament of football in the world. That's where the world will be coming together. And it's crazy to say that now we have a different format. Gianni Infantino was saying a lot about the FIFA, the way he wants to go. The FIFA president. And when you look into the background of how the World Cup wants to go this time around, and you're looking at the format has 10 African countries and Nigeria is not part of this one. Which way Nigeria? Well, let's come back to the current coach and the leadership of the Super Eagles, Éric Chelle. He used to be my friend, but I feel like I'm losing it with Éric Chelle. He's the man in charge now, and he has put millions of Nigerians in a very apprehensive and inconsolable situation. That's the truth. Since he took about the coaching job of the Super Eagles, you know what happened? He's now looking like things are not going well. Since Éric Chelle took over, he hasn't been able to stamp his authority firmly on the team. He has not been able to win any important match convincingly for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm not saying he's a bad gaffer, don't get me wrong, but we know his highest classification with the Malian national team. We know it's the third position. We know all of this, as you know. right? Qualification, that's like the third position, was a quarterfinal in an AFCON tournament. That is his highest rank as a coach. We always say a word, Éric Chelle knows, maybe Éric Chelle, I'm sorry I'm sounding this way today because I'm not sounding to be your friend. That's what the NFF has done. I don't want to put so much blame on the Franco-Malian, but I would do so when I need to do so, like I'm really doing now. He's not been able to restore priority to the national team. He's not been able to give us the hope and the confidence that every Nigerian supporters of the game needs all over the world. But I quite know that all of this, my point on the show this morning, an argument may not go down well with you. With some people, they might be like, no, what's this presenter even saying? No, you're not saying it right. I know it might not go down well with you. That's why it's live. You should not agree with everything I say. It's not even me opposing. It's just a fact. It should be said. It should be stated. But I believe very strongly in my submission here. Well, for those saying that Éric Chelle is good, he's a good coach and has done well. That is good and interesting to hear, I must tell you. But to understand this narrative very well, please let's all go back down the memory lane again. Let's go together. When the then Super Eagles of Nigeria head coach, Johannes Bonfrey, they call him Bonfrey Joe, that's like the AKA, was wobbling and fumbling in the World qualifiers. You remember Korea Japan 2022? Do you remember? Late Nigerian talisman and coach Amodu Shaibu was appointed to salvage the situation for Nigeria and to do what? To make sure that the Nigerian team qualify and to make sure that Nigeria have very slim hopes of qualification for the World Cup. That's FIFA Korea Japan World Cup, if you know the World Cup after 2002, was restored and achieved with just 3 games left. So we've been going through a lot with Liberia leading the group with 12 points. Go back and check it, you'll see it. 12-point Liberia. Sudan had, I think, 9 points or there. Yes, 9 points. Nigeria had 7. Nigeria had just 7 points from 5 matches with just 3 matches remaining. And then Nigeria had a foreign coach then, in the person of a Dutchman, Johannes Bonfrey Joe. Nigeria's next game was versus, I think that's against Liberia at home. Then we went to play Sudan away and then we played against Ghana at home. Guess what happened? I tell you. Later, Mother Tribal won all of the 3 games. He won all the 3 very dicey make or man or do or die matches you want to call it, scoring 9 goals without conceding any goal at all. It was incredible to talk about. It was a big shocker. Before the Sudan-Nigeria match in Khartoum, I think it was a Khartoum, that's Khartoum, Sudan took Nigeria to their worst pitch under temperatures that caused or could roast the players like corns. You know the way they roast corn? You see down the street of Lagos. Despite all of this intimidation and frustration from Sudan, guess what? Nigeria defeated them 4-0. And somebody today is saying that the South African stadium in Bloemfontein, Toyota, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria had the Bafana of South Africa to a 1-1 draw, you call it an epic draw, was bad. And that's why the Super Eagles couldn't play well. This is very, very, very shameful to talk about. This for me is a lame excuse. We are making a lot of excuses. That's the man Amodu you have on your screen. It's late today of blessed memory. I used to know him from our Edo State. Yeah, Tribe Amodu. Well respected. It's the reason why Yakubu is in the national, or he played in the national team. He integrated some of the players to the team. These are legends that should be talked about. These are men that you cannot write off. The upcoming kids should talk about those ones. Now, let me even ask you a pertinent question. Where was the Nigerian Football Federation NFF technical department when that South African Bloemfontein pitch was approved by the federation? Where were they?